Hey, welcome to Zach's Tech Turf and weekly download episode number 108. On today's episode, I'm going to be playing some more Call of Duty World War II. When I give you this news, I got my monster right there. I got my fancy hairdo still right here. Make sure you guys let me know in the comment section what you're sipping on. Let's get into it. To kick off the tech news this week, the guys over at Hot Hardware somehow managed to set up a Q&A with the NVIDIA Director of Technical Marketing, Tom Peterson, and we got some juicy new details about these cards that should be coming out very soon. Tom Peterson stated that NVIDIA should have done a better job at displaying that performance graph that we all saw and shook our heads at, and he clarified on that by saying that the new RTX cards are about 35 to 45% faster than Pascal. 35 to 45% is honestly about what we usually see with NVIDIA's generational upgrades, so if that's true, then the only big deal that we're still dealing with is the heavy pricing. This also doesn't include the most important part, ray tracing, obviously, as the new Turing cards are 10 times better than Pascal on this front. And finally, they even asked him specifically if the 2080 outperforms the 1080 Ti, which is usually what we want to see for every generational upgrade, and Peterson replied that it might be in some cases, but he can't say for sure. In more graphics card news, this time coming from Intel, as we all know by now that they are hoping to release their own discrete GPU by 2020, they basically came out and said that they will be supporting some form of adaptive sync, which is obviously great news. A Redditor messaged Chris Hook, who works at Intel, about this, and the screenshot of the response got posted everywhere. Like I said though, we don't know the juicy details, but adaptive sync is definitely something that we'll see more of in the future. Transitioning over to the AMD news, they are actually reviving the older Athlon brand, which was honestly a shock to me because I haven't heard any news about this until now. Athlon CPUs were AMD's go-to platform for so many years before Ryzen, and now they are bringing them back as a low-end APU platform. These Athlon chips will be even more underpowered than a Ryzen 3, mind you, and they'll compete with Intel's Pentium and Celeron chips for super budget PCs. AMD is claiming though that their $55 Athlon 200 GE will be 84% faster than Intel's legendary Pentium G4560, and if that's the case, you guys know you'll see these CPUs on the channel soon. And to wrap up the tech news for the week, a company called DOS Keyboard has created a new mechanical keyboard that lets you know when there's a Steam sale going on. The keyboard can actually notify you of many different things. As you can see from this picture, you can get your ping rate to blink on the number pad, you can get a certain key to blink whenever there's a Steam sale live, and you can even get the numbers to count down until you respawn into a game. This is some seriously innovative technology, and I definitely think we'll start to see more keyboards be this interactive in the future. To kick off the PC gaming news for the week, the much anticipated Destiny 2 Forsaken expansion is now live, and I know for a fact that a lot of you are happy about this. Forsaken is bringing a huge amount of changes to their game that desperately needs some updating, and from what I've been reading, it looks like the expansion is on the right track. The new expansion is adding new supers for each class, completely redoing the mod system, giving us bigger vault space, and also adding a ton of multiplayer and single player content, which I'm dying to check out. I'll be pretty busy for a while, so please let me know what you guys think of this so far. Next up, I'm not really sure how many of you will be interested in this, but we got word earlier this week that there's going to be a new Lord of the Rings game, which is going to be published by Athlon Games. Athlon Games isn't the company that worked on Shadow of War, mind you, so it should be pretty interesting to see how this team takes this game. As of right now, it looks like it'll be a free-to-play game based off of the rumors, but there's obviously a ton of information that we still don't know about it yet. In some more news that I'm really not sure about how much of you are interested in, Runescape officially announced their highly anticipated mobile version will be available to everyone on October 30th. As of right now, some lucky users are able to try it out on a closed beta, but everyone will get to jump in next month. The mobile version is actually 100% crossplay enabled with the PC, which actually sounds pretty dope. Sticking with the game shutting down theme, the developer for Wildstar announced that they will be shutting down their game as well. Wildstar players who spent money on the game will be refunded if they purchased anything since July 1st, and it's kind of a shame to hear this. If you know anything about the MMORPG space right now, Wildstar had a pretty rough launch, but the game has actually been developing very nicely over the past few years, but the player numbers just weren't there. And to wrap up the PC gaming news for the week, yet another embarrassing competitive Fortnite incident happened this week as the final qualifying round in Fortnite's summer skirmish tournament had to be settled by a coin flip. Yes, with hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line in this tournament, a coin flip decided who could advance to the next round. Apparently, two players who were fighting to get into the next round were absolutely dead tied in a system that scores their total points, number of wins, number of kills, average placement, and things like that, so they ended up having to flip a coin to determine the winner. We all know that Fortnite Fortnite is the king of games right now, but these competitive stories about their quote-unquote esport are very embarrassing. Well, that wraps up Weekly Download episode number 108. Now feel free to head on over to one of these two videos if you haven't seen them yet, and definitely hit that subscribe button because next week we got some more builds and benchmarks. You don't want to miss those videos.